Luigi's Mansion Walkthrough 3, Luigi's Mansion 3 Walkthrough, Castle MacFrights. So this is floor 6, and this is actually one of my favorite floors easily, I think. So this video is close to 20 minutes long. So it's a pretty lengthy floor, and some of the floors will be kinda long, but I don't really think there's a single floor that's longer than 30 minutes, and some of them are really short. So it does look like there's a ton of floors in this game, but I think on average maybe this is like a 6 to 8 hour long game. And if you decide to really sit down and explore, then you'll get way more time out of that, of course. But if you just kind of want to get from beginning to end, and especially if you're following a guide, this game isn't super long. But the first time, if you've been, if it's your first time seeing this game, then I think you can probably expect to spend about 8 to 9 hours. And that might seem low for a $60 game, but the thing about Nintendo games is that you really want to play them again later, so, it's kind of fun. You get to buy them and you beat them, and then I always end up coming back and usually 100%ing them later. And that's what I did with this game. But anyway, here we get to see a cool kind of fighting arena, and there's a couple of other things to do here. We'll just walk into this little hole, I guess, little platform, and we'll see a small cutscene. All the ghosts are going to be playing their fanfare, and there's a king ghost holding our 7 button that we want so bad. Now the doors are going to open, and then we get to actually enter the real part of the level. So some of the puzzles here in Castle MacFrights are pretty dang creative, and some of them took me a while the first time I ever did them, and you'll probably see a few. Actually, I don't even see too many jump cuts on my timeline, so I don't think I actually made too many mistakes. But anyway, this first room's going to have a couple of ghosts, and we'll take them out like we've taken out every other ghost of this type, just by sucking them up. And yes, I'm sure there are fancier, cooler ways to suck them up than I'm doing. Like, it's not unreasonable to get all the ghosts lined up in one flashlight flash and then suck them all up at once. But I'm just going to get them killed, get them sucked in, get them dead, although they don't really die, I guess. They get put into Egad's machine and then released for the next game. This room is going to have a couple of staircases and that rope that we can pull down for some money. A lot of those birds are also going to burst into money, and there's going to be spikes everywhere. So if you forget about that like I did there, remember that Luigi can walk through pretty much anything deadly, so those spikes are just going to be perfect for him to go through. And we're going to pull that rope down and then head on to the right side. There's going to be a couple of these barrels, but we'll have to deal with this ghost with a shield first. I think we can deal with him a few ways. Right there I got behind him and stunned him. But the other way I think is to throw your plunger onto his shield and then pull it off. And that's what we did right here. And somehow I missed the plunger, but got the shield. I didn't know I could do that, so that was really strange. I don't know how the heck it completely missed the plunger knot, but it just sucked right onto the shield, and then the ghost kind of starts slapping his hand back and forth, so I think he'll knock you off of it after a while, so that was kind of interesting. But anyway, you can just use the plunger to take care of those guys, and then I think we'll also use the plunger on those barrels to open up those doors. There's going to be a couple more barrels on the right side that I'm going to try to open up, and that's because not open them up, holy cow, not open them up, but I need to draw out this stupid little squiggly ghost, so we'll take him out, and then there'll be another one, and we'll take him out too, and that should open up the room now. Yes, finally. So we do see a sword up in the top right there, and yes, we do still need to find the key, so we can get to that sword by throwing plungers onto those barrels, and there's 3 doors here, so there's the first one we'll do, and that'll have some rats inside of it. If we go over to the right, that's how you can get that sword that's up there, because there's a ladder that you can't really see unless you stick your head through that crack. But like I said a million times now, I'm going to have a separate video for all the collectibles, so that will come later. And then we'll open up the middle barrel, and there's our key.
Huh?
Alright, the next room has a pretty cool tapestry of the king, and we'll just suck that right off the wall. We don't really need it. We'll get some gold that's hidden behind there, but doesn't really affect us too much. And then there's going to be another spike floor, so we'll just play Luigi, and we'll walk on over, then pull the rope down like we did before, and that should open up the spikes. Okay, not quite. That's gonna drop some chain balls here, and then we'll start sucking up the chain balls. So if you pull the wrong one, helmet's gonna drop out of the sky and do 1 damage to you, and that one will be some money. And this back one is also the wrong one, so I don't know if this is like the bottom left is always the right one, or if it's just the last one they do. It's probably, oh no, the bottom left is the correct one, because that's the one that brings you down here. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. Anyhow, we're going to flash the light on the dragon, pick up the torch, light the torch, and then burn the spider web. So try to remember that, because the torch does get used later in the game, but you don't see it super often, so it's kind of easy to get stuck on that because you forget what it can actually do. Then once we pull that rope in the bottom right there, we can open up the ladder and climb on up, and now we are free to continue on into the next room. So this is a pretty big room, and it kind of is hard to see what's going on. We're gonna need to put someone inside of the elevator, and we can do that first by by blowing onto the fan there to pull the elevator up. And then we're gonna need to step into the elevator and switch over to the other player, or Luigi or whoever, and drop the other person down. And then once we're down here, we should be able to call the other player down, no problem. We can also stick inside of the, I forgot what those things are called. We can push X on that, like, prisoner chain thing. I forgot what that thing's called. That thing has a name. Whatever. And then we can also just call the guy down, and there's going to be that rope there that we're going to have to pull on if we want to get the money that's on top. But there's also a missing door that we will have to use a black light on, which will open up pretty much an Iron Maiden, I think is probably what they were going for. Maybe it's just a standing coffin, who knows. I think it's supposed to be an Iron Maiden though. And that'll put us inside of this right room, and there's going to be a lot of these guys, these kind of like, what are they called? These hooded mannequins that'll be shooting arrows at us. But Luigi is also immune to arrows. And once we pull down both of the ropes on either end of this wooden structure, that should, yep, that will block all of them for Luigi, so now he can walk across. And Luigi won't be able to go over that water, so just take Luigi, open up the chest, and there is our key. That key will open up the door in the room we just came from. And this area kind of reminds me of a place in Superstar Saga, but that's kind of something that doesn't mean anything, because I don't think there's too many people who, like these days, there's not really too many people who have played Superstar Saga, because even when that game came out, there really weren't that many people who had played it either. There's also another sword up in that cage, and we can lower that by doing something inside of here. I might accidentally try to, but anyway, what's going to happen against our control is that the elevator's going to fall down, and a whole bunch of these little tiny red ghosts are going to spawn. So they're pretty much exactly the same as those other tiny ghosts. You just flash a whole bunch of them at once and then suck them up. You don't really have to do anything special with them. And just try to take out most of them quick, because they can swarm you, but it's pretty hard to die to them still. So once we're done with that, we will head into the door on the left side and go into the next room. And here's a pretty cool room that's also kind of a little scary. We're gonna get that keys, and there's a bunch of, there's a big giant cell wall that we have to get past, and who else is gonna do that for us but Luigi? We're going to step inside and grab the key, but we can't actually do that yet because there's water in the way. Something that I actually did not notice looking at it on my editing software here, and I also obviously forgot about that when I was playing through this part in the game because I died in the water. So we need to look at that chain that is on the left there. We're gonna pull that open, and that's gonna open up the door, and that means we need to correct the order of events I'm doing here. We need Luigi to pull on the chain so Luigi can go through the door, and then he'll be able to grab the key. But then Luigi's gonna get killed, and now that we have the key, some ghosts are gonna be outside, and the walls are gonna start closing in on us. So we have a couple of options. We need to kill the ghosts and then pull on the chain, or we can just try to get lucky and just pull on the chain. So I decided that we're going to kill the ghosts first, because these guys will start causing us problems, and the whole time Luigi is very close to dying as we are trying to save him over here. So once both ghosts are dead, we can start pulling on the chain, which does take some time. So make sure you give yourself enough time to do that, and then once we get out, we are good. Really, you get a whole lot of time to do that part. They could have made that a lot more tense, but that's okay. Then we can open up this door and start going further down. This is another kind of big room. There's that cool statue in the background that's looking at us. And then we're going to come over here to the bottom right and pull on that lever, or on that rope. And that's going to open up a Ferris wheel type of thing that we can go blow some air on or suck some air on, whichever order makes you happy. And that's going to start rotating the platform, so we need to get them in an order, like facing the wall like they are right now, so when we reverse the Ferris wheel, they can start turning it back into the correct direction. And I had them a little bit incorrectly there. There we go, once they're opposite, it looks like they have to be opposite, then we can suck the air and that will put them in the same spot. Then a couple of these guillotine things are gonna, these like pendulum axes are gonna swing down, and I'm just gonna be a little bit paranoid and go through with Luigi, but that doesn't work because he can't open doors. So we're gonna just wait for them to come up and then we'll walk across with Luigi, try not to fall down, and that's it. Not really too hard. You can use Luigi to walk in all those spikes down there, but I cut all that out. And then we're gonna have another room with more hooded mannequins and more arrows. So if we pull on this, we're gonna come over here to this other. I think we can get that ready. Actually, I forgot what order I'm doing this in. We need to get Luigi some protection, is what I'm trying to say here. So, switch to Luigi and walk over to the left side, and then reveal the cart of tomatoes. And I don't really think pulling on that rope helps us out too much, but we do have to pull on both of them. And then we can start sucking some air to move the cart, and we'll move it across the area here. And that's going to go about halfway, so that'll cover half of the arrows, and then we're going to have to move the other cart so we can cover the other half. So I'll switch back to Luigi, and I think now I finally pull on the rope. I think I must have thought that we had to pull on both ropes at the same time, but we obviously don't have to do that. So anyway, eventually we will be able to move this cart. I don't really know why it's not moving right now. I think it starts moving in a second here. There we go. I guess we had to get behind it. That was kind of strange because I moved the other cart in the front of it, but that one I had to switch to Luigi and get way behind it to do that, so alright. Whatever. And now that they are all covering the arrows, we don't really have to worry about them, but more little ghosts are going to spawn, and they're going to be a little bit annoying because they're just going to randomly swing around the arena, and like we've dealt with these guys before, just flash them all and then suck them up. Kind of a nuisance more than a challenge, and then we're done with this room. Okay, I think the hidden coffers are in this hallway, so we'll get to that in a second. We have a few more traps to worry about, so just be a little bit patient. Those pendulums can do a lot of damage to you. And I guess I may have missed it, but behind that giant tapestry is the coffers of this floor, and it's actually a cool place. Maybe it's not like quite the coffers, it's like a hidden room of wealth, but it's also a collectible room, so that was probably why I skipped it. Anyway, here is the boss arena, and we're gonna get to fight the king as he jumps into his jousting gear. So this is actually a pretty cool boss fight, but it can be a little bit frustrating, and we'll get to that in a second. Maybe I do really well, I kind of forgot already. So we'll see if I embarrass myself or if I actually did pretty good. So he's gonna throw his jousting sword up in the air, and you'll notice it shining, and that's kind of what's gonna happen when you flash him too early, and his shield will flash too. Those doors are gonna open up every now and then and toss an arrow at you, so try to avoid them. And he's going to joust you, and that will get him outside of his armor temporarily. So I think that's an opportunity for us to flash him, if I'm remembering this boss correctly. So we just gotta wait for him to trot around the arena, and we need to get him out of his armor before we can do any real damage to him. So there he goes, jousting. Yep, we can flash him, and we will use the bullseye on his chest as an opportunity to throw a plunger on him. And we can throw him around in his armor and do a lot of damage to him. And then we'll just have to repeat that a few times. I think maybe only twice, but maybe 3. 3's always the magic number in games, but I can't remember. And now he's going to go around the arena. I think we'll get some more arrows thrown at us. Yep, we have a lot more arrows now, so he's going to joust us soon. I don't know why I got hit by that one. I just was not thinking like I was walking the right direction and then walked the wrong direction. So once he jousts you, just flash him and then plunger him away once more. Looks like we do have to do it 3 times. Good, good. And I don't think this guy has that much health once he's out of the armor. I think the armor is probably the most time you have to spend on this guy, but I can't remember exactly how much health he has. So now all of the doors are going to throw arrows at us, but there's really just huge gaps between them. It's not really a big deal. So here he's going to joust us again, and once his head's sticking out of the armor, just repeat what we did already. Throw him around, that'll be the last of his armor that he has, and 200 health, so really not a whole lot at all. And now he's still going to have his shield, and we're not going to be able to flash him for that, but he will start spinning around in circles, and his shield will fall to the floor, and he'll get dizzy. So you're just going to suck him up, and I don't think I can do 200 health in one go. Maybe I can, because I think I only have 60 right now. And I got him down to about 96, and then, let's see, yeah, so I needed to get him down 16 more. So I don't think I have enough throws to do 200 health on a ghost, or maybe I did and I just didn't do it good enough, who knows, but it's really not hard, just wait for him to spin again. And there we go. We'll suck him in and get the button to floor 7. So after we pick that up, we'll leave through those giant doors to the right side, and we'll have to do a little bit of backtracking, but not too much. I think we have to repeat that gate puzzle, but that's about it. And we'll just head on back to the elevator, and that'll be it for this video.
Oh, yeah. Ha ha. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, yeah.